I also do want to apologize to the PGA of America. I go back on what I said. There's no way the waste management. There's no way the waste management's ahead of the fucking PGA Championship.
Did the PGA of America like threaten you?
Foreplay, a Barstool Sports / Penn Entertainment now.
Are we contractually obligated to say that?
I don't think so. It just kind of came to the top of my head. Presented by Chevrolet, the bow tie, the whole deal, EVs for everyone everywhere. We're a Penn Entertainment product here at Foreplay, which I will say affects us, I believe, in the least degree of anyone on involved in this whole thing. I don't think it does anything to us at all.
My day-to-day is the same.
I don't think it's really going to affect many people.
I think everything's the same. Like it didn't really affect us in any way, I don't think, right?
I think my bank account belongs to a guy that I just saw in New York City. Essentially, I went to park at this place, and the guy was like, "It's cash only." And I looked at him, I'm like, "What year is it? Cash only fucking garage, like a major garage." I'm like, "I'm pretty sure you don't even work for this place. You're just making me give you $40 right now." But he goes, "Go across the street to the ATM." I was like, "Okay." So I just listened to him. I went to this fucking convenience store. I walked into the most like hidden convenience store of all time, where no one goes in there for 2 straight days. I went in, put my card in, took money out, and then a guy right behind me walked in and used the ATM right after me. 100% stole all my identity and all my money, right? Like that
happened to me in college. Mm-hmm.
So what do I do right now?
Well, what I did
do I just freeze my account in hopes that guy doesn't get into it? Because I mean, what are the odds that someone uses an ATM inside a bodega at in the city? The place was empty.
Would you if you left anything in there, you're in trouble, but otherwise you would know right away. So what happened to me in college was I went in, and this was before they really had the ones that keep your card. This was like everything was just swipe and keep at the time. And this was like a newer ATM right in the center of like Harvard Square, which outside of college is even like a happening area. There's just shit going on, restaurants, a train stop, everything. And I went in, and the thing keeps your card, which again was new at the time. And then I went through my whole business. I was in a rush. I took out a couple $100, whatever I needed at the time, and I just left. And then someone was hawking the ATM thing, waiting for people to do that. Got in there within like the 30 seconds or whatever it is that the thing will eat your card, and went, do. Yeah, I'd like to do another transaction, and took everything out of my account. Wow. And so, I mean, it wasn't much. I was in college. It was like a few $100s more or whatever the hell it was. But I went to look like the next day at my account or whatever, and it was at 0. And I was like, what the fuck? That's not good. And you ended up, you get the money back, and they go through and they look at the photos, because ATM machines have photos and shit everywhere. But I think it was like 30 seconds that it takes to eat your card if you don't take it out. But in that 30 seconds, someone could jump in there. Wow. And somebody was like surveying me, which is very creepy.
That's not good.
Nope.
I've been very lucky. I've never had really anything, knock on wood, I've had anything like that happen to me, but it sounds like it could be happening to Frankie, and it has happened to Riggs.
I would say there's a good amount of, I'm so hands off with my accounts and finance that people could be stealing stuff to like a smallish degree, and I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Because I don't track. I mean? Yeah, I don't track every single transaction that goes on in my account. I just assume that I'm the only one using it, but that could be incorrect.
It's usually a sign of success that you're not tracking every single cent.
I think so, but I also don't know.
As you grow older, like I feel like I don't know, if you get a bit more successful, you're just not worrying about every single dollar, as opposed to like when I was younger. It was like, man, like if there's not money in there, then there's not like paying your car, you're not paying for gas. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's little things that happen college years where you're like every dollar counts.
Definitely college years. But even like when we were living in, like when I was living in Manhattan, the first couple of years at Barstool making basically nothing, I still was just bad about it. It's like as long as I just horrible at it. Could pay rent and like still eat out every meal, and like that was pretty much it. You're breaking even, you're living paycheck to paycheck. But now at this point, yeah, I mean, people could get away with taking a good amount from me, and I probably wouldn't know, or at least it would take me a while to be like, wait a second, something's going on here. Future electric vehicles. You don't want to be in the past. You want to be some lame-o. You don't want to be looked at and laughed at by your kids and your grandkids and your grandkids, kids, because you were using something that's archaic and that's ripping up the environment and you're paying for gas prices. No. Chevy's got you covered. Chevrolet, all the brands you've come to know and love. That bow tie on the grill, pulling up, impressive, great look, something you could trust, an amazing line of cars from that fantastic company. Now they've done it in the EV, in the electric vehicle game, the EUV. EVs are for everyone everywhere now, fellas.
Feels like a family now whenever I see a somebody out there driving a Chevy. I'm like, you're doing it right. We're all doing it right. If you're not driving a Chevy, if you're not driving a Chevy EV, you're just making a big mistake and you're not a part of this family.
They won the Daytona 500. They're the greatest in the world. Top of the planet right now when it comes to car manufacturers. The bow tie, it's as American as the dollar bill. You know what I mean?
From Bolt to Blazer. Yeah, American apple pie.
I tried to think of an American thing.
Bolt to Blazer.
The first thing that came to my mind. Isn't that insane?
Eagle. Bald Eagle.
Could have been anything. Statue of Liberty.
Equinox to Silverado. Chevy EVs are for everyone, everywhere. They get over 2,000 certified EV dealerships, plus a growing network of public charging stations. Chevy is here to help you live electric. They're affordable. You don't have to be rich to have an EV. Chevy EVs for everyone, everywhere.
My debit card is about to expire, and that's something I just don't want to deal with at all.
That sucks.
I talked about on the podcast like a month ago about how it's the sign of being an adult that you can keep a debit card until expiration, because in the past I would leave debit cards at every bar across whatever city that I was living in. But now that I've, calmed down to a degree, I have this debit card that I've had for however many years you're allowed to have one, and it's going to expire, and it's connected to every single part of my life. Every part of my life has this debit card connected to it. So, when this expires and I got to get a new one, I'm going to have to switch all that around. First world problems for sure, but it's certainly still a problem for me.
Dude, it sucks when you go into an app or a website or something that doesn't have the autofill thing for whatever reason. Oh. And you just got to go through and type in every number. You got to look at it 7 times. You realize how bad your memory is because you look at it and you're like, you know what? I'm going to remember 6 of the numbers this time. And you only remember like 3 of them, and you got to plug the whole thing in. I will say, remember when I couldn't get into the Delta Sky Club a couple months ago?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, because of that, I looked it up, and you could get in if you just have the platinum card, and I had the gold card, like a Fore, basically. I just had the gold card, which I thought was just normal. I didn't realize it was a nothing card. So I got the platinum card. I didn't realize how legitimate this platinum card is from a physical standpoint. Like,
it's got weight to it.
Holy shit. It's like a $250 fee a year to have one, so it's not like you got to be, Elon Musk. But I feel legit when I hand this thing to people, and when you put it in the machine. And I will say too, I've noticed the efficiency of the tap with it is, for whatever reason, with my older cards, the tap was a little bit loosey goosey. You had to find the sweet spot and tap and register. This thing I get within like a foot of it, and the thing just registers it and it pops up. So the platinum Amex card is fucking fantastic.
Well, that's the other problem with having a debit card for so long. This thing is, if in human terms, it doesn't have legs. It has one eye. It can't. It's balding. Like it's been through so much. Yeah, like I would say 60% of the time when I insert the chip, it says chip malfunction, and I got to do it again and again and again. So it'll be nice when I get a new debit card to everything will work properly, but yeah, I got to get rid of this thing soon.
I saw you just take a sip of water, Trent. Are you actively trying to drink more water in your life?
I'm pretty good about drinking water. I drink a lot of water per day. Regardless of my diet situation, I'm actually on a good run right now. I've been working out every day and eating a little bit better. But even when I'm not doing that, I drink a ton of water.
Well, this came across my desk that the drink 8 glasses of water a day advice came from a random 1945 recommendation that had absolutely no medical basis. We've just accepted it as a culture, and that like medically your body should know exactly when it's thirsty. Your body's really good at judging if you need more water or not. There's no like basis of like you need to drink 8 a day or a certain amount of ounces, because it's not taking into account all the food you eat, like the fruits that you have that have a lot of water in them. So I thought that was interesting that we've just accepted this rule. Like, I mean, I've heard that a million times in my life. You got to drink eight glasses of water a day, which is, you just never really questioned it. You're like, oh man, if I'm not drinking 8, I'm going to die.
I drink way more than that. I drink a lot of water. Like I get what you're saying, but also water is a thing that you can't drink too much of. I don't think it's not.
I think that's a lie.
But I mean, you got to get it out of your bladder at a certain point. But in terms of taking the water in and removing it, I
remember
period,
someone using.
no max.
I think that was on MythBusters where they're like they tried to myth that like too much of anything is a bad thing, and someone asked about water, and I think they said like you can literally like drown out your insides if you drink too much water.
Well, I remember there was a couple years ago, there was a contest to win a Wii. This went viral like 10 years ago. A woman, they were like, you got to drink a certain amount of water and hold it in, and you got to keep drinking water. And she ended up dying, and it was a really big deal. Just to win a Nintendo Wii, and it was like, well, you can't be doing that. But
so if she would have just pissed, she would have been fine.
I don't know the details of it. I remember reading a couple of headlines about it, but I do think if you drink so much and you try to hold it in, I don't know what happens to your insides, but it's not a good thing. Not a good thing.
You just drown, I guess.
Dude, think about what it feels like when you hold in piss for like an extra 20 minutes. Imagine taking that to the limit to death. Like what your insides probably just collapse.
Death.
It's interesting that we're talking about this because I'm now using an app where it's tracking everything that I eat. No free ads, so I'm not going to give them a shout out. But that also tracks the water.
Weight Watchers?
What?
Weight Watchers?
It is Weight Watchers.
There's no way, dude.
Yeah. All right. I knew
you and my mom should become friends on there.
All right. So I knew that was coming. But
how many points was your breakfast this morning?
Okay. So I'm taking this in now. I'm taking the criticism. I knew it was going to come if the app name came out. But our guy Chuck, social media Chuck in the New York office, who is great, who is, he's a large Midwestern man like I am. We go back and forth a lot about like, we're just fat. How do we figure this thing out? And we've gone over 1 million diets, and he uses the Weight Watchers app. And I get that, the perception that Frankie has that it's for a 40-year-old suburban mother. I understand, but it's great. It has everything based on a point system, blah, 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 blah. But it also tracks the amount of water you're taking in. And I've been taking in a lot of water every single day. So I have
a question on that.
Sure.
I haven't seen Chuck in a long time. I'm not around. Is he significantly or noticeably to the naked eye skinnier than he's been?
He's like me where we wear it so well that people really can't tell like when it's going really poorly or when it's going really well. So I wouldn't say if you saw him, you wouldn't be like, wow, Chuck is way skinnier, but you also wouldn't be like, look at Chuck, that fat ass.
I find it interesting that you'd be like, what are you using? I got to use that. Like I feel like maybe you'd ask like Robbie Fox, like what app are you using?
But Robbie Fox doesn't like water, I don't think.
No, but you got to go to the people who are like you.
No offense to Chuck.
It's like,
what does Robbie Fox drink all the time? He has
Arizona iced tea.
Oh yeah,
he's obsessed with that. I think that's how he gets his water. He drinks Arizona iced tea. But the thing that Chuck and I have talked a lot about is it's got to be a slow burn with the diet, because when I just cut out carbs and I try to cut out sugar, then I end up eating more carbs and more sugar than 8 people combined should be eating. So if I slowly do it, like with the Weight Watchers app, again, this sounds like a commercial now. And if they want to advertise with us, please knock on my door. But this way I can eat whatever I want, but everything has a point system. So I can eat a cheeseburger. It's just more points. And you have a certain amount of points per day, blah, blah, blah. If you work out, they give you more points, blah, blah, blah. It's working for me. I will say it's day 3. So, it's still the honeymoon phase.
I'm just saying,
it's a great app. There's no denying that. It's just the perception of it and like the thing.
Well, if they want to change that perception and they don't want, people like Frankie walking around being like, oh, it's for moms. I'm using it. I
just picture like Italian mothers in like workout gear, like walking into a Weight Watchers and feeling like they're making big changes in their life. Meanwhile, they're just like paying a subscription that they don't even know what the hell they're doing. But
that's cynical.
But the point system works. I mean, everyone says that the biggest thing is diet when you're trying to lose weight. Like we work out all the time, and then we don't actually work out all the time. We walk a lot. We're walking on the golf course. We're very active human beings. We're very active. And you're like, why the fuck do I still have a fat face? Why did my face go viral last night on in the Barstool universe of like how fat it was? I feel like I'm moving, I'm shaking, I'm doing a lot of things.
The choker wasn't doing any favors. I think it was
this fucking we're doing this commercial, bro. And I at the end I said, is this whole thing? I think it's like a 7-figure deal for like, I don't know what it's a massive commercial. I'm talking like a movie commercial. Movie sets on New York City, renting out buildings, venues. And I said at the end, I said, was this whole thing just to make me look bad? I mean, there was like 7 people in the commercial. I'm pretty sure the whole thing was designed. Everyone else, we're doing this rock and roll thing. Everyone else looked like a fucking rock star. They had them in leather jackets and t-shirts underneath so you didn't have to see anything nasty. And they had glasses on. They put fucking eye mascara and eyeliner on me. They stuck me in front of a white light. They had my tits out, my belly button. You have to see this picture. We took 1,000 pictures. They picked one where I'm leaning over the camera where my belly's in front of it and there's a huge gaping hole of a belly button. And then they put a choker on me that the girl literally had to, she had to go to get it on. So I was like legitimately fucking choking.
Dude,
I moaned at one point.
Like wouldn't allow any of your features to
over.
Like spread out.
It
just
pushed
kind
it
of
up.
Clogged it all in one
spot. It was something about the framing of your face. Like normally you're just wearing a hat and a hoodie and it frames it in a way that, you can see definitive features. But when you put on...
I don't look like that right now.
No, you look fine right now. But when you put on a wig and a choker and mascara, it just frames you in a way that your face looks huge.
It was like, I felt like everything below the choker was very skinny and normally framed. And it just took everything and like sucked it up to the top and wouldn't allow it to go.
If you don't know what we're talking about, it's on my Twitter. I put up. I obviously knew.
I put it everywhere I could. I printed out a picture and I was putting it up all over my town.
People were messaging me being like, "Bro, like this is so embarrassing." Like, first of all, I posted it. Like, I obviously knew what I looked like. Mm-hmm. We were releasing our new collection of shirts. Riggs is wearing one right now. If you're watching on the YouTube version, it's an incredible collection. It's definitely different. It's like cool, old school logo, very like Brooklyn-esque type of like golf gear, but it's selling well.
Our Danny Rapp
it's our Danny Rapp line, but people are buying it, so it's like it's in the mix right now. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try and make a pop. I mean, I look outrageous right now during this commercial. I might as well just take a video as if I'm not wearing anything. And people are like, dude, how'd you let this out there? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's like our job. Like we've put out so many videos and so many pictures of us looking like shit. Like we could easily not put those out there, but it's way funnier when we do put them out there. It's way more fun.
Yeah, that's the job. That's absolutely the job. Like you said, Frankie, the fact that you put out your first new merch line promo and didn't even mention what you were wearing or what you looked like was, so I was like, is he going to say anything? And then the fact that you didn't. So you leaned right into it. That's all you could do. And I got a good chuckle out of me.
Speaking of making yourselves look like idiots, we have a new YouTube video that I'm 99% sure we're getting shadow banned on YouTube. I think we have to have a full-blown meeting with like YouTube reps, our team. I don't know if we're posting too many podcast things on there. We're like posting multiple videos on top of each other, but not enough people saw this Tommy Fleetwood video of him pieing people in the face. I mean, I got a couple messages being like, I've never seen a professional athlete that happy and like into the thing that he's doing, being able to pie people, who got hit, who didn't get hit. I won't give it away because not enough people have watched it yet. I don't even think you can spoil it. You got to go watch it. It's on YouTube. I think for the next few ones, by the way, I think we're just going to tag them on the end of the other TaylorMade video. So that's all just one video. That's another thing. I'm looking at Alex right now. He's shaking his head yes. Just because it was like a 5-minute video, I don't think that works well on YouTube. Anyway, just go watch it. I'm telling you, it's really good. It's really funny. The edit, too. Whoever fucking edited that thing with the light and
with the ball coming
in? The ball coming out. Sick. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really good.
I don't know who did that. That was nuts. But go watch it. That's a plug. But we look like idiots. That's why it all kind of we look ridiculous.
I mean, that's pretty much
like Trent Bukkaki'd me.
It did look like that.
Bukkaki'd. That's a great term.
Yeah,
that's a really good term. All right, a couple things to run through here. The Rory episode. So I finally finished Full Swing and the Rory episode, which I thought was probably the one that was most similar to what I think the average golf fan was hoping they would all be, which, was kind of, obviously it had featured a lot of Rory McIlroy, but it kind of brought everything full circle, and the crowds coming up the 72nd hole of the Open Championship, and then they mirrored that a few minutes later with the crowds coming up in 2018 at the Tour Championship with Tiger Woods, and the fact that Rory was there and lost to Tiger that day, but now he's there and he's winning and he beat Scottie Scheffler, and afterwards him sitting in the locker room and going through his phone and being like, Tiger's always first, and talking about how Tiger basically texts him, some sort of congratulatory text while his putt is dropping on the last hole. All that stuff I thought was unbelievably cool, and getting behind the scenes of a guy like Rory, who is the guy. He's the Lewis Hamilton of this series. And having him up there, on the massage table, like he makes the little like "fuck you, Phil" line, and he's like, "I hope that makes it in," and obviously it makes it in. All that stuff. Him talking about how the players are too soft because they kind of it's so weird to go back in time, but when they announced the whole deal about there's 4 more elevated events that basically all the guys are going to be essentially required to play in, and that he's like, yeah, a lot of the guys are bitching about it because they're bitching that they now are forced to play at a certain amount of times. And then Rory having like a private convo at lunch with one of his guys being like, we're all just so fucking soft these days. Like, we're the only sport in professional sport in the world where we just get to pick and choose where we play. Every other sport, they just have to play when they have to play, which is so true. Obviously, any team sport, tennis, it's like maybe the closest one to where you get to choose, but even then, it's pretty much predetermined. Formula One, it's like these are the Grand Prix. You have to race in these. That's when it is. And golfers being like, well, I want to play here, not there, and him kind of being like, we're just too fucking soft. So all that, I thought it was really, really good. And that's kind of my last commentary since I watched it last night on Full Swing.
It's a great call when he said that. I meant to put that in my notes when I finished it because it's like so eye-opening when you think about we've been fighting for 2 years about what golfers deserve. And I think I may have mentioned this in like the heat of everything, but like at what point did we accept at what point don't we just accept that like golfers get what they get? Like NHL players don't get to be like, we play on the biggest stage in the NHL and like our best player makes $11 million. Meanwhile, Mike Trout and all these guys make like $40 million in MLB. Like they don't like try and come up with like a new league and all this stuff. They just like accept that like that's where they're at. How come golfers like got to the point where it's like the money we're making is not enough? And like they're just like we've all like argued on behalf of like sometimes on behalf of them, sometimes like arguing against them. Like why has that become like the norm to be able to be like?
Yeah, I mean, look, other leagues have gone on strikes because of this, and the players' associations, like fight on those players' behalf. But it is true. Like I also don't think it's crazy to generalize a little bit that golfers, many coming from like country club type backgrounds, are going to be softer than like, NBA players, NFL players, hockey players, like,
I mean, the strike is a good point. I wasn't thinking about that.
For sure, but it doesn't, they don't get the same, like they do demand more money and more percentage of the revenue instead of it going to the owners, going to, the players. And
that's a great point. I mean, the baseball, they played like half a season 3 years ago or whatever it was. I mean, they literally stopped playing baseball.
They did. But again, it's like it is a sport altering issue when it does occur. And they still, like, if a player is suspected of choosing to sit out, and they always list it as like an injury or something, but if it's suspected that they're choosing to sit out because they just don't want to play for a little bit or they just want to rest, I mean, they get roasted for that, you know. And people that bought tickets, right? That if the Lakers are coming to Phoenix and you buy a ticket and LeBron doesn't play, like people are rattled about that. Whereas if you buy a ticket to the Honda Classic and like nobody plays, you don't get to like bitch at the players. It's like, of course they're not playing. They look at the schedule and this is when they choose to play. So it is different in that regard. It was just so cool because we don't really think about it that way. We have kind of had the whole stance because we've heard about LIV and the Tour for the last year of like, yeah, this is their general, they're independent contractors. They get to choose when they, want to play. Of course they do. And it's Rory's point was kind of like, why? Like, that's a little ridiculous. Like, sure, you could choose a few different events, but for the most part, like, this is the Tour should be able to be like, hey, we're doing X, Y, and Z for you. We're putting average $20 million purse on these designated events. The most we ask from you is like, this is going to be your schedule. Here's when we need you to play. I don't think that's that fucking hard. And it turns out to be 15 events of the whole year, which is 15 weeks, which comparatively to other leagues is pretty fucking minimal for how much, yes, they're on the road a lot. I get all of that. They don't really have home games half the time, but they're like the 15 weeks that they're asking you to lock in that you're going to play is not a crazy number of weeks throughout the whole year.
And if you play well, you're going to make a shit ton of money, like a shit ton. The percentages went up. Everything went up. So if you play in these events and you win or you get top 5, you're going to make way, way, way more money.
And the biggest argument I do think that like the LIV guys have that they should harp on more is the guaranteed aspect of it, the guaranteed money, right? Because any other sport, for the most part, it's guaranteed. Like you can get injured and knock yourself out of the league, and in certain leagues, you're screwed. But for the most part, like it doesn't matter if you win or lose. It doesn't matter if you have 0 goals or if you have 50. Your salary is your salary. You'll make a little bit more based on incentive bonuses for sure, and some contracts are structured differently, but it's locked in. You're going to make X amount. If Rory McIlroy goes out there and misses 20 straight cuts, now they've got the minimum $500,000 thing that they didn't have before, and he'll make his endorsement dollars, sure. But if you look at somebody who's number 100 in the world that doesn't have those endorsement dollars at all, like they're going to lose money over those, over that amount of time. Now, the $500,000 thing is new, and it's basically a stipend, and they get to recoup that money. So maybe they won't necessarily lose money, but they'll make nothing. They'll make fucking nothing. Alistair Doherty's going through it now. Yeah, he's on the AAA team, and he's not in the major leagues, but it's the same deal. It's like you got to earn your keep. And the biggest argument I think the LIV guys could make that would resonate with me would be like the guaranteed money thing is a game changer for me. It just locks it up, and it doesn't put all the stress on it. And if you play in the MLB or the NHL or the NFL or the NBA or even in the Premier League or whatever, you're guaranteed X amount of money. And then if you go out there and you play extremely well, then when your contract's up in 5 years, you might get a bigger contract. But for that 5-year deal, your money's fucking locked up. And they don't have that on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never ending. It's a never ending conversation, which is why it's the most interesting thing in sports. It really is.
It is.
It's just like every day I flip flop on like what's a good idea, what's not. It feels so just abnormal that it's still a real thing. But so I try, like after watching something like Full Swing, I try and just like make LIV feel like the dumbest thing on earth in my head. And then when we have a discussion about it on this podcast, like there's a reason why it is what it is, and there's a reason why it's gotten as far as it has gotten, because there are good arguments on both sides somehow, some way. No matter how many times I'll watch that documentary, no matter how many times I'll watch the Waste Management, there's still like a reason why some guys want to leave, and like you can see why.
And a big narrative driver when it was all happening was Phil being like, you guys are hiding money from us. Like there's money to be had. There's money to be paid to the players. And that ended up being true. Like that was a huge part of it. That's where like they started putting all these money in all these events, and it's like Phil was right in that regard.
Part of me watching Full Swing, I didn't like the swagger Monahan had. Like when he would go up there to like the top of the, like he had like Phil gave him a card to be able to play at the table. Meanwhile, this guy was like kind of a hated figure, like at the top of the PGA Tour. He definitely did not like Barstool Sports, or maybe his like team just didn't. Like we weren't ever credentialed to anything. We always felt like they were we were the bad guys around them. So like we used to hate the PGA Tour. And now all of a sudden this guy's walking with this like the way he announced Rory, where he's like a man of leadership. Like he had such a smirk to him where he's like, we're winning now. I kind of hated that like he was handed a victory. Meanwhile, he didn't really earn it. He didn't really earn a victory. He's kind of been having his back against the wall, having to make changes that LIV made. See, I keep flipping back and forth. I don't know where I stand on this fucking
That's
thing.
all right. That's healthy. That's like not being completely on one side is fine.
Didn't you guys feel the same way? Like the swagger he had walking up to those podiums at the Players Championship? It was like, come on, dude. Last year, people were booing you.
He's a little over polished, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like he's a little bit like, I'm going to say it perfectly. I'm going to deliver it perfectly. My hair is going to always look identical. I'm going to have pretty much the same suit on. Like he's a little too polished, in my opinion. And
it's the opposite of Dave Portnoy. Like,
you
don't even know who he is.
Yeah, right. Like I the way he presents himself, I agree with that. It's almost like there's almost like we talk about Full Swing and we talk about the John Rahm interview we did and certain things that we really like that are as candid and raw as they are. Like I don't think I've ever seen Jay Monahan like raw. He's just
should come on the
prepared and polished,
Right. I wonder he should come on the show. I agree that would help. And like, can you get to his position and not be like that? Can you be unpolished and get to the top of golf?
I know. Maybe not.
He has to be
Tim Fincham was pretty much the same way, right?
Yes. And
but
then you look at the other side.
Guys.
Greg Norman is the least polished guy, and he's there for it's a myriad of different reasons. But
you got
he is
guys like Seth Waugh that's in the charge of PGA of America, and he's like the most real guy of all time.
Yeah,
Like
That's
came
true.
on our show, was like, he looked like a golden brown cookie, and he was like just coming from Florida, and he was like shooting the shit, saying his kids love Barstool, he watches our stuff like that. That's a guy that like had to make massive decisions this year regarding LIV and players playing in his championship and shit. I also do want to apologize to the PGA of America. I go back on what I said. There's no way the waste management. There's no way the waste management's ahead of the fucking PGA Championship.
Did the PGA of America like threaten you?
No, it's just after finishing Full Swing. I meant to put this in my notes the other day. After finishing Full Swing and watching people like weep after winning the PGA Championship, and just the whole deal of like, JT winning and the whole like watching him do it. There's no way anything's above a major. I don't care what it is. There's no way.
This is just a show based on whatever the most recent piece of content we consumed is what we believe through and through.
I think that's how life works.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you have your like, I have my pillars of beliefs, but like there's things that sway me. Like I'm definitely easily swayed, and it's got to be infuriating for the listeners where I always have different opinions on things. But that's how I've always been. I've always been like that. I could vote one party and vote the next party in the next election. I'm always different. I'm the best person to ever go to like a presidential election because I'll just whatever you say to me, I'm swaying both ways. If you say something that's really convincing, I'm like,
man. Those are
oh my god, they really are, dude. They really are. I'm constantly changing my shit. I'm constantly changing my shit.
How many IRS agents?
I don't know who I don't even know what I swear to God, I could change on the drop of a hat.
All right, but that PGA Championship response made me feel like Seth Waugh has Mr. Borelli in a basement somewhere.
He didn't. I just happened to bring those two things up back to back. I promise you, I haven't talked to him. I remember saying it. And I was getting caught up in the crowds. We had just gone to the waste management. There's no fucking way the waste management's more important than the PGA Championship. There's no way. Watching Mito Pereira like crumble and all that stuff, it just wasn't the same as Sahith crumbling at the waste management. It just wasn't the same. It ruined me. It sent Mito to LIV. Like he could never play golf on the PGA Tour again. It literally, he didn't want to come back in public again. He like blew the major with that ridiculous swing on 18. What was he doing? What was he doing on that swing?
That the soundbite that they got of him on the tee box after he did that, that was worth every single thing that Full Swing was trying to do. Every episode, every minute, every hour, however much the cameras cost, however much the labor cost, catching that was as good as you can get.
And Neiman on the side was looking at him with his like wife there, and they're like, "Oh, was that for par?" He's like, "Nah, it's for double. It's over." It's like, oh my god,
that was brutal. Yeah, I agree. That clip on 18 of him and the hit, like. I didn't realize too, like maybe they edited it right, but them capturing how much he was just reeling in real time. Like he just wasn't taking his time. He just like, it just melted away from him. And it almost like by the time he walked up and saw his wife, he was like, what just happened? Like it's over. It's over.
I felt really bad for him.
Oh, that was tough. Gametime. I used Gametime a few weeks ago, I guess, and went to probably. This week. You are.
I'm using Gametime this week. I'm going to the Nas concert at MSG on Friday.
Wow.
How great is that, dude? Awesome. Me and Noah, producer of Chicks in the Office, are going to Madison Square Garden on Friday. Nas is doing one night. And Noah's a huge Nas fan. I love Nas. He hit me up. He's like, "Do you want to go?" I was like, "Yeah." And it was like, Gametime. Hitting us with tickets. The seats are incredible. I am legit giddy to go see Nas at Madison Square Garden.
Wow, that's incredible.
They hooked us up big time. Thank you, Gametime. Thank you.
Dude, they got concerts. They got games, actual games. I went to Cameron Indoor, Duke UNC a few weeks ago with my brother. A couple of our good friends. Tom Pashley was there. Probably the single greatest sporting event that I've really been to. The Masters is up there. Phoenix Open is up there. This is right there. It's so different than the others. It's hard to explain, but being able to go there, Gametime helped me out. It's almost impossible to get a ticket to that thing. Gametime hooked it up. They cracked the code on how to score deals on last-minute tickets. Purchase process takes just 2 taps and 10 seconds. Once you buy your tickets, they're delivered directly to your phone. No printer needed. The app also allows you to easily share tickets with friends via text so you could get into the game seamlessly. My brother, for his birthday a few weeks ago, actually, him and his wife, Maggie, I got them tickets for Christmas and for his birthday, a little double dip. To Adam Sandler was in St. Louis. Yeah. I got them tickets via the Gametime app, and you're always a little worried when you do that. You know, tickets are a very valuable thing. They came into the Gametime app for me. I hit like one button, transferred them right away to my brother's wife, Maggie, and they went to the show and had a great time. So Gametime's just phenomenal for all that stuff. Download the Gametime app, go to the website, enter your email and redeem code Fore for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, go download the Gametime app, redeem code Fore for $20 off your first purchase.
You think that the Netflix people put in fake like sound bites from the crowd to make it more dramatic? It felt like they caught the perfect things from the crowd where they're like, biggest shot of your life, Mito, like right before he hit the 18th drive. If you go back and listen and you watch Full Swing, there's a couple moments like, oh, Matt Fitzpatrick, that's a tough bunker shot, boy. Like the fucking Matt Fitzpatrick. There's no way someone said that to him in real life. There's no way. I mean, we've been to a million events. Are they really saying that to his face, or do you think they went back and just like recorded it like in a park and was like, we're
I don't know that they recorded it. I think they captured him, but I don't know that they like I do not in any way believe that the second that they captured it on video, that they put it out there, is the same time that it was said. Like that could have been said 2 days earlier. They just like but I do think it was captured. It'd be crazy if they were like, we're gonna basically come up with, we're making this a fiction, like this is a fictional thing now. Like that would be a little crazy.
I will say The Bachelor does that all the time.
They do it all the time.
They just take little clips and then like they'll force it into a place where it makes everything sound crazier. But I think they call them like zombie bites or whatever. They bring them back to life and they put them in a place where
I could easily see it, just like the way like we edit videos. You have all this audio, you can put them on in different spots to like just fit them into a hole. Like we'll have something that like I say in the golf cart, but a camera wasn't captured on it, but you can hear me because it goes through the audio, and like they'll just put it wherever they have to put it just to stick it into the episode. I could totally see them doing that to try and make it seem like Matt Fitzpatrick heard right before he made contact with the ball. Yeah, that's a tough bunker shot right there, Matty. It's like, holy shit, biggest shot of your life. No way. No way.
And the only reason, like, I think they could have been doing that in the Drive to Survive, but we're not like totally as aware of that world as we are the golf world. Like I agree that I don't think some guy would yell that at Matty Fitz when he's about to try and win the US Open. That seems insane.
That would be nuts. That would be
the balls on that guy would be insane. Like
all of the journalists inside the ropes would have tweeted that out. They would have been like, you won't believe what this guy just said to Matty Fitz on the 72nd hole at the Country Club in Brookline. I mean, we did it with the John Rahm interview. Like we did, like they overlaid my intro of him with him like sitting down and to make it look like, and he was like, as he was sitting down, he was like smirking at certain stuff that they made it sound like I was saying that in real time. It's just, that just wasn't the exact time.
Right.
Like he sat down minutes before I even started.
To make it more dramatic.
So show business, did it like it was, that's the business. So yeah, I just doubt that they would have made it up and been like, all right.
I was picturing them being like,
guy number 2, say this.
I was thinking that. But
that
like, like when Vinny Chase goes in to do I'm Queens Boulevard, they had a guy sitting there being like, biggest shot of your life, Matty. That bunker looks tough. It's like, no, try your inflection a little bit different.
Never know what happens in LA, man. You just never know what happens.
Pretzels are making me thirsty, and then he just keeps going all day.
We know Chad well enough, I guess. We could ask him. He would tell us.
Yeah, I want to know when they captured that audio.
I got a quick Stealth 2 comment real quick. I got a text last night from Captain Connor. He texted me this. And the reason I brought this up is because my brother just got a Stealth 2 delivered today, and he's all jacked up because we got the Dad Bod Classic next week. So I was just, Stealth 2 was on my mind. But Captain Connor texted me yesterday. He goes, curious on your thoughts. I hit my Stealth 2 yesterday for the first time. It felt significantly better than the original Stealth. Is that possible that 1 year to the next, it's that much better? Curious how you feel about it. And that's a good question because I think we all kind of think that. Like, how could the technology be so much better from 1 year to the next? I go, I agree. Trent agrees as well. Their claim, this is TaylorMade's claim that I'm referencing, is that the new one is more forgiving than the OG Stealth. They're both really hot, carbon, all that, but this one is supposed to be more forgiving. And he goes, dude, the first shot I hit immediately felt different. I used to be a travesty off the tee. Me too. This club fixed me. However they did it, it deserves a Nobel Prize. So, roaring review from Captain Connor of the Stealth 2 that I took note of and figured that I had to put this in.
What a difference between getting a Nobel Prize and a Nobel Prize. Just putting the emphasis on the B and the E.
What is a
It's
Nobel
also
Prize?
spelled differently.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, Noble would be noble.
A Nobel Prize would just be, we've determined that you acted in a noble way, so we're giving you a prize.
Are they spelt the same way?
Spelt differently. Nobel is the L and the E are reversed.
Okay, all right. Because I was gonna say, what a fucking difference in just the way you say something.
Right. When you get like a letter in the mail, like, did I win the greatest achievement of my life, or is someone just, when I carried that dog up 3 flights of stairs the other day, are they giving me a Nobel Prize for that?
The Nobel Prize are 5 separate prizes that, according to Alfred Nobel's will of 1895, are awarded to, quote, those who during the preceding year have conferred the greatest benefit to humankind, unquote.
Holy shit.
What are the categories? Do you have the categories in front of you?
And by the way, I agree with you. Yes, TaylorMade Stealth 2 is an incredible golf club. I am obsessed with the TaylorMade Stealth 2 hybrid and 3-wood. The 3-wood has this weight that can go from the front to the back. I put it up on my Instagram the other day, and people were like, what is that weapon? Like, they had never seen anything like that. You can adjust it based off how high and how low you want to hit it. It's a crazy piece of technology, and the weighting of the hybrid, like the weight of it, just like feeling it in your hands. It's got nice girth to it. Something about it just feels really good in my hands. It's a foreign feeling of that girth. You know what I mean? Like that real thick. It's really, really thick.
We go to the Kingdom every year, and they fit us, and it's great, and they give us all the numbers and they tell us what the differences are. And it's great. But the way that I would describe my love for the Stealth 2 is that I'm just more confident off the tee with it. For whatever reason, when I stand over a ball on the tee and hit it, I think I know where it's going, which I don't know what the difference is. I don't know how they make that difference from one year to the next. But now when I have that club in my hand, I feel confident. And that's all I need. Confidence is the whole thing. So I don't know how else to describe my love for it.
It's made a big difference for me and we showcase this in the video that we put out, but I'm pretty blown away at your toe and your heely hits, which I do pretty frequently, how just straight and out there they go. And I'll be, like when you hit one and you as the batter always know, but like the viewer or the people, other folks that you're on the tee with don't always know. So they hit one and they see it come out pretty straight with like pretty nice ball flight. And they're like, great one. And you kind of do like a one-hander. You're like, ugh, that was shit. And then it's still way out there. I've noticed every time. And we'll get up there. Even played with Alistair the other day. He's like, how come you hated that? It's way out there. I'm like, dude, it's forgiveness. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but this thing, I hit that. That did not feel good off the face. And it still goes way out there. So Captain Cons was all juiced up about it, as he should be. And I agree, Frankie. I also did this in the Kingdom video we put out, but Trotty was my guy. And as people know, I've always, with the nature of my swing, is like the 3-wood's generally been better for me. It's been my go-to club when my driver's not working. And he was doing little tweaks with the 3-wood and the 5-wood where we were turning the loft down on the 3-wood. He was like, mate, if you're really not feeling it with the driver one week, or you're in like really windy conditions, you're out in Scotland like you were, and you're like, dude, if I hit this little fan to the right, it's going to go out of bounds the whole day. He's like, you can do this where you turn your 3-wood down on the loft, but then you use that little back weight and you put it to the highest setting. And he's like, and you will hit these hot but towering 3-woods that will come out, again, like with the lower loft, they'll come out hotter, but they'll go up in the air and stay up in the air and travel. And I hit a few after he tweaked that, and the numbers were hilarious. And he's like, yeah, this is this is like the Frankenwood that Phil used at the US Open when he was carrying like 3 different drivers one year. He's like, you can just do this with your 3-wood before a round. Obviously, you're not allowed to tweak it during a round. But that technology with the Stealth 2 is phenomenal. To continue going with, Alfred Nobel was a Swedish chemist, engineer, and industrialist, most famously known for the invention of dynamite.
Whoa.
Wow. Mm-hmm. But isn't it the Nobel Peace Prize?
I think
so. There's a Nobel.
Types.
Let me look at the different types. There's a let's see, medals, diplomas, award money, controversies, and criticism. Let me just look up what are the Nobel Prize categories.
Like, did Oppenheimer win a Nobel Prize?
So there is literature, peace, physics, chemistry, economic sciences, and physiology or medicine, it says.
Okay. So you can win one in any of those categories. Every year they give this thing out.
I will say the peace one seems a little out of. It seems like a little bit of an outlier there. We're talking like these are all pretty much academic categories: literature, physics, chemistry, economic sciences, physiology or medicine, and then just peace. Is just peace prize?
It
you just did
feels like the most subjective category.
It feels quite subjective compared to the others.
So for these people that grow up that like are always searching to get into like the high honors classes and like win all these awards, like the dean's list and all this stuff, is the Nobel Prize in their category just like the thing that they like strive for in their career? Then, like once schooling is over, is that why this was created, to like give them one more thing to pursue so that they can have more things to try and accomplish?
I would think so, right? I mean, that would make a lot of sense.
Really, to just like push these people because they realize that like you needed to give them something.
Yeah, people just like awards too, you know. Just fucking people love to just chase something, and it's like you just put that on your mantle. Imagine that helps too if you're in you're trying to become a tenured professor and you're fighting with somebody else for the gig, and you have like a Nobel Prize in physics. They're like, yeah, I mean, do you have a Nobel Prize in physics? No. You're out. This guy's it.
I think the financials attached to it too are pretty large. But again, your earning potential, like you're saying, goes through the roof if you have a Nobel Prize.
Yeah. What's the what are the math awards that the guy gets in Good Will Hunting that he always references?
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Fuck.
He's like, so and so has X amount of awards in mathematics, but they're not like Nobel Prizes, I don't think, are they?
Fuck, I haven't watched that movie in so long. I had a run where I was watching that movie like every week.
That's a great movie.
Field medal sounds
maybe
right.
field medals. He has X amount of field medals in mathematics, something like that. All right. Anyway, Stealth 2, people love it. Speaking about physics, it's great, and I just wanted to relay that completely out of the blue text,
unprovoked.
I didn't ask anything. I wasn't inquiring about his thoughts on this Stealth 2. He just hit that puppy, one swing, dropped the club, picked up his phone. He's like, I got to text somebody about this. This thing's fucking unbelievable. So go check out the Stealth 2. We're also doing a sweeps. I know I was promoting these on videos over last week, but we're going to give away a Stealth 2 driver and a Stealth 2 hybrid or fairway wood, whatever your choice is, to 2 different people. So that's 4 clubs total. You go to TaylorMadeGolf.com/Barstool Sweeps. So that's not even on my list. I'm even supposed to talk about that. They're not required to talk about that, but you want to go and enter to win is TaylorMadeGolf.com/Barstool Sweeps. I think we're doing that now through March 1st. So you've got 6 days. How many days are in February? 28. So you got 6 days. It appears 5 days once this comes out to get yourself signed up.
I got something real quick before we go into that. I'm sorry, but you got
ahead.
me on this fucking thing. I know this is kind of an all over the place show already, but
it's fine.
I looked at this quantum physics thing that won the Nobel Prize for quantum physics, and says this won the Nobel Prize. The universe is not locally real.
Okay.
One of the more unsettling discoveries in the past half century is that the universe is not locally real. In this context, real means that objects have definitive properties independent of observation. For example, an apple can be red even when no one is looking. Local means that objects can be influenced only by their surroundings, and that any influence cannot travel faster than light. So essentially what they're saying is that this evidence shows that objects are not influenced in the universe solely by their surroundings, and they may also lack definitive properties prior to measurement. So they cannot then state that it is locally a real thing. You know,
it's all theoretical. They don't really know because they haven't.
So like that apple being red, even when you're not looking at it, they know that for fact because of its surroundings cannot change the color of that apple from being red. They cannot say the same thing about things in the universe or the universe in general, because it seems to measurements, things do change prior to measurement and after measurement, not based on them like being around.
Yeah,
things,
we talked. I mean? There was something a couple months ago that we were talking about where it was about waves, and there are certain aspects of the universe that change when they're being watched and when they're not being watched.
Yes.
Which is I forget exact. I mean, about forgetting the details. I forget about all of those details because they're just so smart. But there is something where when you're looking at something, it's one thing, and then when it's not being surveyed, it becomes a different thing, and that like flips the way that we're perceiving.
That was a debate. That was a theory that like everything is fake. Like everything we're seeing is just like our perception of Earth. But like if you actually were able to like separate everything that we're seeing, that it would actually be completely different.
Was that like the rays, the sunlight waves from that like were being monitored or viewed or something, and that it was when we were doing a lot of our simulation talk, and that a big part of the theory and belief that maybe we are in a simulation is that those waves change when they're being viewed versus when they're not, or something along those lines.
Something like that.
Yeah,
yes.
That's fucking wild. That is wild.
That makes me uncomfortable. Those type of things make me very uncomfortable. Because I think seeing is believing, and it turns out it might not be true.
How about the fact that these motherfuckers said that the universe is not real and they won a Nobel Prize for it?
But you got to prove why that's right.
Right.
The Fields Medal is a prize awarded to 2, 3, or 4 mathematicians under 40 years of age at the International Congress of the International Mathematics Union, the IMU, a meeting that takes place every 4 years. The name of the award honors the Canadian mathematician John Charles Fields. Wow, you don't really get that many chances to win this puppy. They do it every 4 years, and you have to be under the age of 40. So that guy, the douchey professor in Good Will Hunting, I think he had like several of them. So you got to be pretty impressive.
I just Googled this quickly, and then we can move on. It's the double slit experiment that we were talking about. It talks about observing particles and not observing particles, and how some of that stuff switches, and they're not totally sure why.
When they observed them, it went when they observed it, it was in the straight line, and then when they didn't, remember, it was like hitting all over the place.
Right.
That's right. I do remember that. It gave me the chills back to how creepy that is. That experiment.
And then also, there's like I was just walking around a grocery store today, and I was getting groceries, and that's real. So if you get too far out there, you're like, what's real and what's not? Like, oh, these particles are moving when we're not looking at them. I also still have to get up and take a piss in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You drink so much water.
I drink a ton of water.
Yeah, over 8 cups a day.
Way more.
How about so do you think when it's really windy out that it's dangerous?
So
today in Arizona, today's forecast is 40 mile an hour sustained winds with gusts up to 60 miles an hour. So
I don't think that's dangerous. I mean, I think like a hurricane's 100 miles an hour, shit like that. That's when it starts.
I think like a Category 1 hurricane might be like under Category 1 hurricane.
Dude, when Hurricane Sandy ripped through Long Island, those are some wild winds, man. I remember looking out.
Breaking down each category. A Category 1 hurricane has winds of 74 to 95 mile per hour.
I'll tell you this: when the derecho hit Cedar Rapids a couple years ago, the winds were, I believe, up to 140 miles per hour, and it fucking devastated the city. So I don't know at what point things start to fly around. Like, what's the wind speed when things start to get lit? Like when trees get uprooted. So a lot of trees got uprooted.
The reason I asked, we got this email to our apartment building because obviously Arizona, people have balconies and there's like an outdoor terrace and a pool and all the bullshit outside. And we got an email to our entire building that was like, you need to remove all your stuff from the balcony. We're getting incredibly high wind advisory. And I was going to go out this afternoon and play a little bit of golf. I thought it might be fun. We're going to Pebble next week. It might be windy. I get a little bit of a spirit, but I'm like, is it too dangerous to go play golf at 60 mile an hour sustained winds? Or is that it's just a windy day?
Well, 60 is a wild time to play golf, I think. Okay. 60 is wild. It'd be fun, though. If it's like not crazy temperature-wise, I think it's actually pretty fun to see what happens to the golf ball.
In the desert, does that cause the upkick of sand? Is that a stupid question?
I believe probably out in like the real desert, it would. I don't know that like in these neighborhoody golfy type areas, like the desert's broken up enough maybe that I'm not really sure. We do get like in the summer, they get crazy monsoons out here and dust storms. Like severe dust storms where they pop up out of nowhere and you have to pull over on the side of the road or you'll die. Basically, it's crazy.
Wow.
But the winter, we're usually pretty chill in the winter. Maybe it gets a little chilly, a little cold here and there, but like for the most part, the winters are pretty tame. The summer here, shit gets weird in the summer here.
I mean, if you think about 60 miles per hour, you said a Category 1 hurricane is what, 70 miles per hour?
74 to 95, it says.
That's pretty close to Category 1 territory. That'd be tough to play golf in.
Now, I don't know how severe a Category 1 hurricane is, but I think anything if somebody says a hurricane's coming, I don't care what category it is, that seems pretty fucking serious. Are you looking for meals that are ready to eat, delivered to your door, and actually help you feel your best? Sakara is the answer, and it's so much more than just a meal delivery program. We're all using it. We all got these puppies delivered a few weeks ago. I think I got mine like a week ago. Comes in that amazing technology, which is the dry ice that keeps that puppy cold forever, basically.
And there's all these different options. It basically gives you a test on what you want or what kind of food you're looking for, and it gives you a quiz, and you have to answer all these questions. And then you choose like which category you're trying to get food from. So I ended up doing the superfood healthy one. And I was like, I figured that if they're going to pre-make me meals, I might as well try the really, really, really healthy stuff, because if I'm going to try it, I would rather someone else do it. I don't know how to make all that stuff, like, cauliflower instead of chicken, and like it's a you can't believe it's not a burger. It's like what are those burgers called?
Impossible burgers.
Impossible burger. Yep. Like, I'm not making all that stuff by myself.
Can't believe it's not a burger. Burgers.
I can't believe it's not a burger.
That's butter. Can't believe it's not butter.
Where your brain goes to fill in the thing that you can't think of is really pretty incredible.
Sakara can't believe it's not a burger. I'm telling you right now, it was incredibly delicious, and I was super happy that I got the superfood one.
Science-backed, plant-rich nutrition programs and wellness products right to your door. Their ready-to-eat meals are designed to deliver results from increased performance to boosted energy. Right now, Sakara is offering our listeners 20% off their first order when they go to sakara.com/4 or enter code 4 at checkout. This is for you guys that are listening. That's SAKARA. So SAKARA.com/4 to get $20 or 20% off your first purchase. Again, that's 20% off. Sakara.com/4. Go get 20% off your first order.
I want to give a shout out to all the women out there that have to put makeup on every day.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy putting makeup on and taking it off.
Oh, you're saying this because you had to shoot commercials.
That eyeliner, I talked about in the beginning of the show, I had eyeliner on, and it's just irritating my eyes, like using the eye makeup remover. And they do that so easily. They have these towelettes. They have these little cotton swabs. They put a little thing on there, and they'll do it as they're talking to you in the bathroom. They'll just be like, oh, yeah, how was your day? I did that in the car just before, and I was like weeping. Like, it was burning my eyelids. I was like scratching at them. I have bags under my eyes now because I was like kind of working at them for so long. Not easy. And that's just like 2 lines above your eyes. Imagine the whole thing. The contours, the different types of cheek stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I would. If I were a woman, I would not wear makeup. That's just a lot of upkeep.
Women are warriors when it comes to fucking putting on makeup and taking makeup off.
Our mornings are considerably easier than a woman's
Oh my
morning.
God.
They're negligible. I mean, it's nothing. It's just you just pretty much wake up and you're ready.
Right? You don't have to do a single thing if you don't want to.
Nope. And you look pretty much the same.
I didn't do a single thing this morning. I mean, I showered, and that's all. That's really all the upkeep that I have to do in the morning. Brush my teeth, clean my ears, put on deodorant. That's it. That's pretty standard. They got to do all that stuff too. And then all the other stuff.
Everything they got to do, man. And they don't have to do it, but it's just like society is just like, oh, like women wear makeup. Imagine society switched where we just had to wear makeup all the time.
I think makeup sales would go way down.
Oh, they switched. So the women don't do it now.
No,
I'm saying if you put the societal burden on men to put on makeup every single day, makeup does not exist. It'll exist in a very much smaller percentage.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels that way.
But it's weird because makeup makes you look better. So why don't men wear it?
Some do. I'm sure some
Yeah, they do. I mean, like the TV industry, movie
Yeah.
industry, like artists or whatever, like musicians, all these guys, they all wear makeup. I mean, athletes, when they're doing their photo shoots, they get makeup done and stuff. They walk over to them and they fucking patch under their eyes. But like, we go out there and we just like, how come it's not
This is
acceptable?
what we got, baby.
How come it's not acceptable? How come it's not acceptable for me to throw a little bit of like eyeshadow on?
You can
know what
do
I mean?
that.
But I'm saying, like, why are you fucking looking at me, Alex? Why is it not, why is it not acceptable stop laughing at me. Stop laughing at me. Why is it not acceptable for me to throw a little fucking blush on, dude? I think I look better with rosy red cheeks. But
Do it.
But why is that?
Do it.
Why? I see what you're doing right now. Why is that not
We
acceptable?
just want you to be you, man. Be comfortable in your own
No. Don't turn that
skin
into
or
this.
changing
Don't
your own
turn this
skin
into
to make
that.
it appear different than
Don't turn that into
it
that.
actually
okay?
does.
Here's
Totally
the
up to you.
here's
I'm
the
saying, why
Nothing wrong with that.
when they came up with makeup, whoever was it, the Chinese who came up with makeup? I think it was, dude. I'm not kidding. I think it's old China came up with the idea of putting on makeup.
Persians, right? I feel like the Persians were very into that.
Egyptians. I'm thinking
Who
old
invented
world makeup.
makeup?
Did Cleopatra wear makeup?
Ancient Egypt.
Ancient Egypt.
There you go. Bang.
How come they didn't
4,000 BC. That's 6,000 years ago, boys.
Why didn't they just be like, all right, when these guys go to work, they're gonna wear makeup too?
Yeah, that is more of an expectations thing, right?
Oh no, I actually think the men did wear makeup back then. You see all the pharaohs,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
They used to have things around their
Oh,
eyes.
yeah.
They used to have like the wing tipped eyes. I can picture it right now. All the pharaohs having.
Well, I'm
that
saying, think about the movie 300 when like the Persians
That's
come.
what I was
and
thinking
the
of.
Persian, when they're being hoisted up on their little platforms and they're basically cabanas that they cruise around in, they're all geared up, maked up, caked up.
What's that guy's name? What's his name in the movie? That's right on the tip of my
Xerxes, right?
tongue. Xerxes.
Is it Xerxes?
Yeah. I don't know.
Xerxes, is that the guy from Toy Story?
No.
Who am I thinking of?
No idea.
Who do they fight? Toy Story 1. Xerxes? Are you sure it's not Xerxes?
Sid?
No, the who the fuck do they fight? It's like the guy. It's the alien guy.
Oh.
You know who it is.
I can't think of that.
Come on, guys. Give it to me. We have two producers.
What
in
are we
here.
thinking? I'm looking up something else. What?
What's his name? Surge? Zurge. Okay.
Listen, Frank, if you want to put on a little bit of eyeshadow every day, I think that's totally
When
fine.
did it change? We need to find that out. When did men stop wearing makeup? What culture put an end to it?
I wonder if we could tell if you put
I
makeup
don't know
on.
that any put an end to it. Like, I don't know that the Greeks were like wearing makeup, the men ever. So I think it's just certain cultures were and some weren't.
Nowadays, it's an expectation thing. Like, for better or worse, or however you want to say it, they wear makeup and the men don't, and we just walk outside with
It's
our
also
skin.
our culture. Like, I don't think it's like that everywhere around the world.
Right.
True. That's true.
I think A-Rod tried to come out with male makeup recently.
Really?
And I don't know how it
Checks
did.
out.
But like I can't wrap my head around why it's not okay. Like, because we're supposed to be like grizzled and don't care about what we look like. We care about what we look like all the time. We buy new clothes all the time. We buy like the coolest.
If you
gear
want to
for
wear
golf.
makeup, Frankie, wear makeup.
I'm just wondering why it's not acceptable.
I just picture him in his bathroom
It
at
is
home,
acceptable.
looking at his fiance's makeup. Like, I got to get me some. I want to get some of that and put it
No one's
on.
gonna
That's
put you in
fine.
I think
prison.
about
It's
all-
very much acceptable.
No, because I had some on me yesterday, and it was just like you're looking at yourself. You're like, oh yeah, like everything, like your eyes pop more. But it's like you look better with makeup on. That's what makeup does. Makeup makes you look better.
Yep.
Whatever. People are gonna be calling me gay and stuff. I'm gonna be getting.
You can
like,
wear
it's
makeup
just-
if you want.
Everyone,
to.
that's what happens
wrong
to me
with
every
that?
time I say anything. It's nothing wrong with it, but that's just what. No one can ever have just like a free thought without applying like that person's sexuality to something. I'm saying
Well-
I think people look better with fucking makeup on. Why does that have to do with anything else?
to the credit to give some
If
credit to those.
KFC and Feidelberg heard this right now, they'd be like, "You want to suck my dick?" I'd be like,
Well, I
"Fucking-"
mean,
Maybe.
You got at a certain point, you just start adding the evidence up, and it's just you put it all in a big pile.
Whatever,
and
dude.
if you
I'm
listen
just
to your
saying
appearances
you
on
look
KC
better.
Radio, they're just they go and always
It
go
is
in a
what it
certain
is,
direction.
dude. I'm just saying you look better with it, and I just wonder why it never stopped. That's all my point.
All right. Speaking of which, there's a mixed team event now on the PGA Tour that was just announced. The PGA Tour and LPGA Tour players will compete for a $4 million purse on network television, as the tournament, long known as the Shark Shootout, became a mixed team event this year with 16 teams. The tours formally announced the change Wednesday, with Grant Thornton serving as the title sponsor. Imagine it won't be called the Shark Shootout anymore.
No.
Which is it's interesting. The Associated Press first reported the mixed team event in December. There's been a lot of calls for this over the last few years, so it kind of felt like this was always going to happen to some degree. It's not as, I guess it's not as like disruptive as it could have been, because this was kind of a mixed event last year, right? I mean, Nelly Korda played, and there's been female participants, because last year at this same event is when Kiz and Homa were just raving about Nelly Korda's game and how she didn't miss a shot in that presser, which was fantastic to see them just basically oogling over every shot that she hit and how good her game is. And then her responding being like, yeah, I think it just speaks to how good the women's game is, because I don't win every week. So if they think I'm this good, like there's a lot of girls out there that are just as good or better. So like I said, if it was if it was like the Phoenix Open was becoming a mixed event or something, that would be like, holy shit, this is going to be an entire brand new introduction, unlike anything we've ever seen before. It is going to be new. It's fresh, a great step in that direction. And yeah, a mixed team event is something that we haven't fully seen before. So them kind of going all in on it for this event and having a $4 million purse and the whole deal is obviously fantastic. And I think only a step closer to there being what I'm kind of alluding to, which is more of a full-fledged mixed team event between the two tours.
No, it's a no-brainer. And did I read that they haven't released format details yet? We don't fully know what the format's going to be, or I don't know.
If we do, I didn't read it, so I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I saw Tony Finau and Nelly Korda are teammates.
Yep, Ricky and Jessica are teammates.
Jessica are teammates. Does it surprise you guys at all that LIV didn't go after LPGA? And if they did, maybe we just didn't see it. But like, isn't that a surprising thing that they didn't just throw a ton of money at that entire tour and just grab all those stars?
They've gone at it to a degree, like the Aramco series and all that is, and
they go and play, right? Like, do they get the biggest players?
Yeah, a lot of them go pretty much, and they make a ton of money those weeks, that series when they do go play. But you're right. I mean, it would be in theory, it'd be a much easier thing to be like, hey, you guys are making a few $100,000 to $1 million or a couple $1 million max if you're like the best. We'll pay you that much, up front to the top 15 players of the world to come here and do this. I feel like they would pretty much all have no choice to go, because it's not like PGA Tour where they're all, they're making tens of millions if they're at the top of the game. Either way, where over there, it's like, that's really not the case.
Be interesting if they got the LPGA to go to LIV and then they spliced in the top 30 or whatever players throughout those teams on LIV, and it was like a mix of men and women that were playing, and like you could do the whole team aspect would be, I mean, that seems like a no-brain win if you're talking about like the politics behind everything. If they could figure out how to do that, my God. And you're paying these girls that deserve more money because they're the best athletes in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would also say that
for those idiots.
It's an eyeballs thing too, right? Like the reason the men thing was such a big splash is because men's golf is huge.
But I'm saying intertwine them now, right? Like in the same tournaments, have like Nelly Korda play in them, but she's on the aces or whatever. And like in the team aspect, she can help make that team better. I mean, she might not win the tournament, but she can help. She's getting guaranteed money anyway. Why does it matter where she finishes? It doesn't matter if she doesn't win the tournament, but if she helps the team go, that's something I would watch for sure. Because, I mean, we're going to watch the shit out of this combined event. It's just interesting to me that they like go after Mito Pereira and they don't try and go after like the biggest stars that they can, I think, would have a better time convincing to go, because it's not like the LPGA has ever been like the greatest tour for women golfers. I mean, I feel like they get that much money. There's not the
they've had.
events.
I mean, obviously they've had a lot of issues and complaints, and the tour has changed a lot in the last 15 or 20 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if they could just do like a mixed thing the whole time. I feel like they would have to have a couple different tours. To me, what would be obvious is them just basically swallow up the LPGA Tour, which I think that there's been a lot of rumors that they've tried or that they want to do something along those lines. And I think people haven't been as hard on the LPGA players that have gone over to the Aramco series and played in those events, because the delta between what they could get there and what they're getting on LPGA is significantly different. And like the amount, I'm looking at the LPGA money list from last year. Lydia Ko, 4.3 million. Minjee Lee made 3.8. But you go down to basically the top 10 in the world, make 10th, 11th, 12th, make 1.5, 1.4 million. And you start to look at taxes, you look at expenses. We talk about they all have swing coaches, they have mental coaches, they got to pay out their caddy, they got to pay for their travel and all of that. If you're making, if you're Nelly Korda, right, who last year she did only play in 15 events because she had her issues and injuries and the blood clot and the whole deal, but she finished 12th on the money list. She made $1.418 million after taxes. That's what, $800,000 or so. Now you start paying, and the travel, you're at $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 that she raked in, after everything.
Like generationally good golfer.
Much. That's, that's a lot of money to the average person. But being Nelly Korda, being one of the best female golfers on planet Earth, is like, compare that to Phil, who's 51 or whatever, and not even close to being able to compete at the highest level. And he got $200 million to go over there for 3 years or something. It's pretty incredible delta for them. So if Nelly Korda gets offered $5 or $10 million to go over there and exclusively play there for 3 or 5, it's like, how the fuck would she not say yes?
And it's the league's fault why it's not bigger. That's just like who it falls on. Like, it's not like it's Nelly Korda's fault. She wins all these tournaments. She's marketable. She has all these things going for her. It's not her fault that she's not making $10 to $15 million a year. It's like the league's reason. It's the league's fault for not just being bigger. You say that with hockey too. Like, it's the league's fault for not being a better marketable league, that Connor McDavid doesn't make $100 million a year. It's just like, it's the league's fault. That's like why. So like, the LPGA is just like not doing well. I know it's women's sports compared to men's sports. It's eyeballs and all that stuff, but it's like, figure it out. I don't know. It's your job. Like, figure it out, or else the bad mans from Saudi Arabia are going to come in and take all these people away.
Yeah, and look, it's a hard thing to figure out. I mean, but the certain leagues have done an incredible job, and some haven't. Like, look at the difference between the NFL and the MLB. It was like the MLB had to schedule World Series now around interrupting, football games, and it used to be the other way around. It obviously used to be the Fall Classic and Major League Baseball. Baseball was America's pastime, and the NFL, leapfrogged the fuck out of pretty much everything over the last 10, 20, 30 years and became the league. So to your point, it's not like the game is fundamentally different. Yeah, the entertainment, and they've changed rules a little bit to make it a little bit more entertaining. The NFL and protecting the quarterbacks, and it's that, but it's still fucking football, and it's still baseball. And the fact that one league has gotten to the other, I think you're right, Frankie. It's like clearly the league and the marketability and all that has done such a phenomenal job of building it to a point where they own one day of the week. Now they're starting to own multiple days of the week. And if you compare that to, golf and the different leagues, it's like there's a reason LIV exists, is because the tour hasn't done as well of a job either. It's like they've catered more, I feel like, to hospitality and to sponsors than they have to like curating a phenomenal product. That's why the Tiger Woods thing with like him and Rory and them signing new players are trying to do something at night in a stadium, and there's like different shits popping up because of that reason, that like the league hasn't dominated in terms of making golf, PGA and the LPGA, like this riveting product. We talk about it a lot. Golf on a week-to-week basis is not that riveting to watch unless you get a really good leaderboard, which only occasionally happens. So yeah, it is up to them to figure that out, because like you said, like Nelly Korda's going out there playing the best golf that she can and doing a phenomenal job of it. She's just doing it. Same with like a Patrick Cantlay comes out to like, he's not the most electric guy in the world, but like if his league and tour was doing a better job, he's one of the best golfers in the world. He won, the playoffs a few years ago. Like, he was a Ryder Cup savage. Like, he should be in a position where like, a guy that's similar to him in the NBA or the NFL makes an outrageous amount of money, and he necessarily doesn't. He has to go earn every single dollar by, competing and actually winning that money instead of having stuff guaranteed, because the game has done such a good job of marketing itself, and him being a big part of it makes him a lot of money. And you could argue the same thing for the LPGA. Now, it's a little bit hard for us on the LPGA because they have such a foreign influence that maybe they have done a great job of becoming so much bigger in Asia, because there's a lot more Asian players at the top of the leaderboard. And we don't see that because we don't live there and we don't see the marketability there. But again, looking at the total money list from last year versus the money list of the PGA Tour, clearly they're behind. And so to bring the whole thing full circle, it's like if they can do more joint events, it's only going to help elevate, because we've been around those women on the LPGA, like Danielle Kang, fucking awesome, one of our favorite people.
She's
Ryan O'Toole, who we played with, and Georgia Hall, who were playing pickleball with us, and who are like fucking awesome. And like a lot of those ladies are just personality wise, they're unbelievably marketable. But it's just not, it hasn't clearly like resonated, gotten as big as it should be. And hopefully the tour, I do think part of that is up to the tour too. Like the tour can do stuff like this to basically, grab the hand of the LPGA and be like, let's go. Let's like help, because we believe if we get you guys out there, if we get your product out there and you guys make a really conscious effort, you guys being like the league, the tour, the LPGA, the decision makers, like let's figure this the fuck out, how to get it bigger, because the back nine of an LPGA event is just as riveting as the back nine of a PGA Tour event. Like you see people struggling to try to close out an event. You see amazing shots, bad shots. You see drama. You saw Lexi Thompson at major after major trying to like get it done and then having a rules infraction and have like there's fucking drama, and it's the same shit. The women are phenomenal at golf. It is kind of, yeah, to your point, it kind of becomes an issue with the league of like, how come this isn't bigger and better? Hopefully this helps.
Fantasy football and red zone for the NFL. I'm 99% sure that's why. I mean, those are just incredibly genius ideas for making your league bigger. NHL hasn't figured that out. MLB doesn't figure that out. MLB still has blackout restrictions. You can't even watch the Yankees unless you have Yes Network. It's absurd. They just don't want you to watch the sport. It's out of control. You can't put anything on Twitter. If you put a baseball clip on Instagram, they shut your thing down. It's just these leagues don't understand. Golf, same way. You can't take a CBS clip and put it on the Instagram. You have to take screenshots. Like, grow your sport. Figure it out.
I was going to argue for the MLB and NFL thing that attention spans change over time, and they're obviously headed in one direction right now with the social media. But then you think about hockey. Hockey is the fastest sport in the world. You're just like, your eyes are darting all over the place. MLB is much more, let's sit. If you're at the game, just have a beer and kind of pay attention when, somebody's, whatever's happening is going on. But, hockey is happening all the time. So that's an argument.
It's amazing baseball is as popular as it is. I love baseball. It's
Me too.
Favorite. I fucking love going to a baseball game. But think about how psychotic it is that they have to fill a 45,000 capacity stadium like 7 nights in a row out of 8, right? They'll play like a 3-game set against the Rangers and then a 3-game set against the Oakland A's, and you just gotta fill up that stadium every single night for 4-hour games of just boring, long August baseball,
right?
And like all these other arenas, for 81 times, by the way, not including playoffs, you gotta do that. Hockey season's only 82 games, so it's like, you're talking only 41 now. You're cutting that in half, and the arena's smaller. It's amazing that we've done, it's amazing how far baseball actually has come.
It is funny if you were explaining baseball to an alien and you said it just how you just said it. Like, there's 81 of them in every single stadium, and you got to fill it a couple nights a week. The alien would be like, "Oh, well, then it's probably like an hour and a half, right? An hour and a half. You know when you're going there. You know when you're going to leave." And like, no. It could be 5 hours. It could be a 5-hour game. It's crazy.
Right.
Like an NBA game, it's 2.5 hours and you're out of there, no matter what. NFL game, you know when you're getting there, you know when you're leaving for the most part. MLB, it's no.
And that 5-hour game ends at like 1 o'clock in the morning. The next game starts at 7 o'clock the next night, and you got to fill that whole place up again.
It's crazy.
My dad actually made a really interesting point about that. We were talking about golf and baseball are sort of in the same bucket in this, but he was talking about how much it annoyed him, like the Mito Pereira part of the full swing, on how they harp on how he was leading and how he like blew a lead. my dad was like, I hate that they harp on that because that's not true. Like he actually wasn't leading. Like he at the time was numbers wise under par, better than other people, but they hadn't played the same amount. Like they hadn't done, so he's not leading. He's like, they haven't done the same thing and one guy's done it better. He's like, he hasn't done the thing that the other guys have done yet. And he was like, it's infuriates me because if like over Saturday night, he can be leading. They've all played the same holes. They've all done the same thing. He's done it better than everybody else. He's leading. He's like, at this point, he's not leading. He's played 17 holes. Justin Thomas, all those guys have played 18 holes. He's not leading. Like you can't claim that he's ahead of the other guy because they haven't done the same thing yet. And he was talking about that in baseball, where he was like, in baseball, it's not that you can't claim somebody's like leading, but he's like, there's no clock and so you haven't done the thing until you have done the thing. Whereas in hockey or like, especially hockey, because the puck goes back and forth so much, in basketball, you could be leading because you've played each other doing the same thing, the same number of minutes and seconds, and you're defeating the other team because you've done the same thing. He was like, in baseball, he's like, it infuriates me when they do that too, because like, it's not like you can just bleed out the clock and you can play conservatively and all that. He's like, you have to get the outs, and you're not done until you get the outs. And so he was like, it was a classic, like obviously like older guy who's finding shit to just be upset about, which I was laughing, but I was like, he made a good point about the golf, where the point about leading is sort of bullshit because they haven't played the same. They haven't done the same thing.
I do that with my own brain when Tiger's playing though. Like when he's 10 shots off the lead, like on or however many shots, like 8 shots off the lead, and he has a tee time that's earlier on Sunday than the rest of them. I'm like, oh, he's only 5 shots off the lead, and Jon Rahm hasn't even teed off yet. So it's like Tiger's through 13 and Jon Rahm hasn't teed off yet. I'm like, wow, Tiger's within 6, and then Jon Rahm's going to go out there and shoot a 65, and the lead is going to grow. But with Tiger, I'm always like, he's kind of close. If those other guys, for whatever reason, just shoot even par today, he's going to be right there.
I'm dealing with that with the Islanders right now. We're in a playoff spot, but we have 5 games in hand on every team behind us. But for right now, we're sitting pretty at number 1 in the wild card. No problem. Sure, the other teams have 10 points that they can play with, and they're only 5 points back. But also, I mean, Buffalo Boy over here, they're squandering. We
got 5 games in hand on everyone.
You have 5 games in hand on everyone. You just lost last night. They're a shit show.
It's like if you're watching track with a staggered start, you think the guy at the top, you're like, that's my guy. He's winning right now. It's like, no. It's all the same length. They're just staggered differently.
But it does help the team that is in that spot, like mentally, finish better than if the roles were reversed. Like I feel like the Islanders, I'm not to bring us into the Islanders, but I feel like the Islanders have like confidence right now where it's like we are in this spot right now where like we can just win more and make it harder for the teams that have all these games in hand to catch our number, as opposed to like if you were 5 points back with the same amount of games in hand, you'd have to try and catch these guys. You know what I mean? Like it's just I think mentally it's easier. Like that guy that's in front in a staggered track event, yes, the guy behind him's better, but at least for that moment, he might be running faster knowing that he's closer to the finish line. It may not always work out, but mentally it's better than being behind the guy, no? Wouldn't you rather be the guy with the head start?
I don't know. My track analogy, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, might not make sense. But what you're saying about the hockey thing, I think makes sense.
Like it just gives them that sense of like, all right, we're here right now. Sure, a team can just come up and get it, but like if we keep winning, we're going to make it harder, regardless of how many games they have in hand.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, instead of trying to catch them, instead of always trying to play catch-up.
Yeah,
I'd rather them play catch-up. It's harder to play catch-up.
Yep, definitely harder to play catch-up. You'd rather have the points.
Do you refrigerate your ketchup?
Yeah.
People that don't refrigerate their ketchup are fucking weirdos.
Agreed. I just saw another
refrigerate your bread?
No, but I've in my house now we freeze the bread, which I've never been a part of. It stops the mold, and then you throw it in the fucking microwave if you want to use it. I don't participate in that. I'm just like, let's get new bread.
What? Yeah, you just eat the bread in a timely manner, or you get new bread.
Like, let's say we get a loaf, she'll put it in the freezer, like after like a day or two, and I'll be like, "Where's the bread?" She'll be like, "It's in the freezer," and I'm like, "Why'd you do that? The bread's ruined now." But then I kind of argue it, and then like I throw it in the microwave for 2 seconds, and it's like fine. It's actually really good.
You're not eating enough bread then. You're not eating enough like it's
I'm
like
trying
bananas.
to eliminate it. I'm trying to eliminate bread.
Oh, I've been eating a lot of bread.
I like bread.
With the Weight Watchers, it's only a certain amount of points, so I can eat it.
Oh my god, it's a killer. It's cholesterol.
the golf capital of the world, True Blue, which is an excellent golf course where we're going to be hosting and beginning. Well, you guys are going to be there for the Barstool Classic kickoff in under 2 weeks. Isn't that wild to think about? The Barstool Classic kicks off in under 2 weeks.
It's happening, right? It's revving up again. Yeah.
We're right back at it. Golf capital of the world is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Plays host to more than 3 million rounds per year, and you should be part of that number. You can go on YouTube, check out the amazing experience we had in the fall of last year, playing 4 different courses that were all quite different, yet fantastic, from TBC Myrtle Beach to the Grandfather. We played the Nicholas course that kind of went around that marsh, which some incredibly tough but cool holes. And then obviously True Blue and Caledonia are Mike Strantz. We love Mike Strantz. Tobacco Road looked exactly like Tobacco Road. I could not get over how much True Blue was just Tobacco Road reincarnated. Incredibly cool. I love that kind of design. The fact that Myrtle Beach has it and all kinds of other amazing stuff is phenomenal. Caledonia Golf and Fish Club and True Blue Golf Club are Myrtle Beach's highest ranked golf courses and are must plays. We're going to be checking out others' reaction to being out there for the Barstool Classic. It's our first stop. We chose it for a reason. We're excited for people to get to Myrtle Beach. There's a reason why Myrtle Beach has been named America's favorite buddies trip destination. Visit CaledoniaGolfVacations.com to book your tee times, plan a stay and play package, and get more information about 2 of America's top 100 golf courses. Again, I know you're listening right now. It's February. It's cold. It's chilly. You haven't been outside. You haven't played much golf, but you're watching, right? You're watching the Waste Management. You're watching Tiger. You're watching Riviera. You're getting hyped up about playing golf. So just go to this little website right here, CaledoniaGolfVacations.com. Go look at your tee time options. Go look at a little stay and play. We woke up. We looked at the beach every day. We looked at the Atlantic Ocean. It was fantastic to see the sun come up over the glistening ocean. It's fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. And now you can play awesome golf too. So CaledoniaGolfVacations.com. Go check out Play Golf Myrtle Beach. You guys got a new iPhone?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know how much more we can. I have to go to the bathroom.
All right, go ahead.
What is with the phone? Not
Might be
like the
20
screen doesn't shut off.
We got to be out of here in like.
We got to be out of here
yeah.
in 10 minutes.
No, like
what do you mean
25.
your phone screen doesn't shut off?
Dude, it just stays like this all the time. It doesn't.
Oh, there's a setting. There's a setting you can change.
There's a setting
That's the
you
new
can
phone.
change. The new phone has
really?
a setting where you have to change that immediately, because without that,
I have to keep my phone upside down on the desk in front of me or on the table or whatever.
Yeah, it's absurd.
You're
Yeah,
also,
I don't
if
know.
you're not charging it, you're just burning battery.
You would
Right?
think that, but this is the new natural setting that it comes in. I guess you have to change it. But Trent, it's not fully like LED lit up, but it's faint, but it stays lit up. So when you're sitting there, it's incredibly distracting because your phone's just on, and you're trained over the last decade to think anytime that thing has light on it, somebody texted you or a notification or a noti, as they say. But this thing just stays lit like that. So I got to go into my settings.
What that tells me is that they're trying to get us even more invested in our phones, because you're just always looking at it. You're like, something going on over there? Something going on over there?
I hate them. I hate them for doing that because it's working, man. It's so bad. It's like, the instinct to just reach into my pocket, to just pull that fucking thing out, to just look at it after every golf shot, after everything you do. It's awful.
I know. I'm addicted to it.
You got to shit real bad, eh, Frank?
Frankie's squirming.
Look at it.
Yeah, I just got to go to the bathroom. It's been a long day.
We can finish. I don't think we have anything else to talk about. We got the
We
Honda
really
Classic
haven't
this
had
week.
much to talk about today. It's kind of been one of those just like whatever comes to the mind type of shows.
Well, dude, the last couple of shows were heavy golf.
Heavy.
Insightful. Talk about Tiger and LIV and going back and forth. Dan was on, and he was on site going through a lot of the nuts and bolts. So I figured we'd do a nice little OG show with the three of
I
us
like
talking
it.
about Nobel Prizes and fucking
I enjoy this shit.
field awards. And shit.
Yeah, I've enjoed this immensely.
I
Me too. It's been a fun time. Go to the store.barstoolsports.com and check out our new line. We've got the St. Patty's Day is kind of what we're calling it, but we whipped back up some of the classics from last year. It did extremely well. That green Unreal hoodie, and then the leprechaun with the hitting the golf shot. Love that shirt. Then we got a couple of these new ones, like we said, this kind of vintage line. This logo that we did last year, this like around, I think we did it originally around the Open Championship. We released a couple things, but it's sort of this old school like old English Barstool Golf logo, and then we mix that with some vintage colors. It's awesome. So there's a bunch of items on there. Store.barstoolsports.com. Hit the foreplay. Go to brands and hit foreplay and just buy our stuff because that helps us out. And then go check out YouTube. We got Fixing Frankie, another episode coming this week. Is that correct?
Is that coming this week?
Yeah, next 6 p.m. Thursday. So that'll be today. When this comes
it's coming out tonight?
Yep. I just texted Brendan to confirm.
You ready for
Fixing
that?
Frankie episode 2 out tonight. I can't believe we didn't talk about this earlier. Decade Golf, Scott Fawcett. I make a couple of like warning like appearances. We added an interview into the video so that I could like let people know like this guy's out of control. The things he says make no sense, but if you just like take what he's saying just generally, you're going to become a better golfer. You don't need to he gets so in depth of everything that's happening in the game of golf that it's like a lot. And I had my dad there in the video, which is worth the price of a click. Because he's just like, what the fuck's going on over? They go to him a couple times in the episode and they're like, what, you have any idea what Scott Fawcett just said? And he goes, I don't know what's going on out here. He's like, I think a couple times he goes, my head is spinning. I mean, that's just what he makes you do. But there's a couple of core things that you learn from this episode. It makes you a better golfer. The fact that we had Dr. Brett McCabe in episode 1, who's John Rahm's fucking like marriage counselor at this point, which we learned in in our interview with John Rahm. And now we have this for episode 2. Trevor Immelman is episode 3. The guy won the Masters, and he taught me how to putt. He taught me how to read putts. He taught me how to not be a scared putter, how to be aggressive on a line, how to read exactly where you're going to be aiming the putt. So that's episode 3. And episode 4, we have some fun stuff in store. So it's fun because I did get better at golf last summer, and I have it all saved. Like I have it on film.
Much better.
And it's just been like, how do we portray how I did it? We somehow like filmed my journey, and now it's just about piecing it together. So episode 2 tonight. Hopefully,
are you excited to take your new game to Pebble Beach next week?
I am excited. We do have some wild travel restrictions that we're gonna have to discuss as a team. I don't know if we're going to do that on here. I know we have a lot of our meetings, but
restrictions?
Well, that's not the right word.
Maybe not a restriction. I guess restriction in the sense that there's not many options for us to get out of there and make it to the Barstool Classic in time for Myrtle Beach.
Because we're going to Myrtle.
Riggs, you have no idea. Like there's like one option to get from the West Coast to Myrtle Beach, and it includes us like not being able to play golf on Sunday. So we're going to have to really have some conversations.
What about getting to a place and driving?
I think that's going to have to be an option. I don't know that. I think that one option that we saw got us to Myrtle Beach at like 10 a.m. the next day. We'll talk. We have to. It's bad. I mean, our booker, Justin Mancini, looked at us and he goes, you're fucked. I mean, he looked at every option. He goes, you're fucked.
He did say that.
Because you're not fucked if you leave at like 2 o'clock Pebble Beach time. Because that's 5 o'clock Eastern time. You're moving, you're going to Seattle, you're laying over, you're flying all the way to Myrtle Beach, but like there's like a 3-hour layover.
Here's the problem though, and again, we don't have to talk about this on here.
Let's talk about it.
But the 2 p.m. flight from out of there is in San Francisco. You got to drive 2 hours.
Oh yeah, no chance.
Right.
Oh
no
Jesus.
Chance. Dude,
yeah, so we're gonna we got to talk to our guy Josh.
Once we fly to New York and we like drive to Myrtle Beach, which is just like let's fucking go.
If we do that.
What about? I mean, I know last time I drove to Myrtle from like Pinehurst, I believe, and there's like I wonder if there's anything that will fly you to like Raleigh or Charlotte, and then you just drive.
Right.
Do you happen to know? Because we were looking at Atlanta flights too. The Atlanta drive to Myrtle is one that I was curious about.
Let's look at this right now. Drive Atlanta.
We need to play Pebble.
Myrtle.
So here's for all the listeners that are trying to listen to us.
Ooh, that's a long one. You can't do that.
We're trying to figure out how we play Pebble Beach on Sunday in the Dad Bod Classic, the culmination of an incredible weekend that Josh Isner, Dad Bod Classic Josh, puts together. It's an absolute fake life type of trip. We're trying to figure out how we can do that and make it for a 7:30 or 8 o'clock kickoff. Tee off of the first Barstool Classic stop at Myrtle Beach at True Blue, a Mike Strantz location, an incredible golf course. I'm going to sing the national anthem again. Hopefully, I have a little bit more pizzazz in my performance. But how the fuck
Rendition?
do we do both those things? How do we do both those things? It's hard.
Wow.
Hard getting from Pebble Beach to Myrtle Beach within like 15 hours.
Because the
It's a
thing
hard
is like obviously the drive to San Fran, there's going to be more flights out of there. Because flying out of Monterey, there's just it's a limited amount of flights that go to all these different locations. So again, this is a real first world problem that we're talking about, wanting to play Pebble and then flying to a Barstool golf event. But that's kind of what we're dealing with, and there's just not many options. There's almost none. But we're trying.
Yeah, I'm looking. It's going to be 3.5 hours from Charlotte to Myrtle Beach, which is a hell of a drive. But I'm wondering if there's like a San Fran to Charlotte that would get you in late, and then you could drive that night. I don't know. That's not good. But it's
none of it's good. None of it's good. It's a sleep in your car just to make the Barstool Classic type of night.
Yeah.
But for the people, listen, this thing sold out in 4 minutes and 27 seconds across 25 different cities. We're putting in the work. We're not acting like we want to be there for the national anthem. Like that's we're gonna be at the. Here's where we got to clarify this. We're gonna be at the Myrtle Beach Barstool Classic.
Definitely.
We're gonna figure out a way to get there. We're also gonna probably play Pebble Beach. So whatever that means, if you have to dart me in the neck and we have to get dragged by a couple of fucking like people that we pay just to be like, just meet us at this place and drug us. And
no, dude, that's the problem. The problem if that service doesn't exist yet. Although
no, we can ask someone on like a listener to meet us there, drug us, drag us in the back of their van, throw us in the back, and just drop us off in Myrtle Beach, roll us out into the parking lot, and then just give me the mic and I'll sing the national anthem.
We gotta figure it out. We'll figure it out. Maybe.
We might lose Trent. Like Trent's not prepared for that trip.
No, I'm not. I've made my stance on red eyes very clear on this podcast.
Oh, this will be the worst one of all.
It'll be because you just not only is it a red eye, but it's a red eye to an event. It's not a red eye to my bed.
It's a red eye to a drive to no sleep, and then it's a full day event.
I'm gonna be a grumpy bear. Yeah, if we gotta do that, I'm gonna be a real grumpy bear.
So
I'll do it.
Go in with a better mindset.
Fuck you.
It's one
That's
day.
That's my mindset.
It's your one day of your one life you have to
listen,
live.
bro. I'm gonna do it. I'm not saying I'm
one
not gonna
day
do it.
You're gonna be dead, and it's not gonna matter.
Right, but if you complain about traffic or the way that someone's driving, you might end up a dead body on our way to murder.
I'll probably have my hands on that wheel that night.
If you want to do that, that's fine with me.
For sure. We gotta figure this out. I gotta go upstairs right now and talk to Justin, J Mac.
You gotta look at all. You're gonna have to get creative, I think, which sucks.
Super creative.
I wonder if you did like the Charlotte or wherever is like a reasonable drive, and then you have to hire a driver, and then you guys just slept in the back or something.
Fucking jeez.
Fuck.
Yeah,
I like it. We're getting to both. We're gonna do both. There's gotta be a way to get from California to Myrtle Beach in like a day's time. There has to be. He said there's no options. There's options. There's options. We can figure it out.
Pretty good too. For him to say no options is not.
He didn't say there's no options. He said you're fucked.
That's what he said. Yeah.
And they FaceTimed me to tell me I was fucked.
We did.
All right, I gotta go pee pee in the potty.
Go use the restroom. Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy the Honda Classic. We'll be back next week to discuss God knows what. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.